Hello Cancers, and welcome to your Plant Ally Spirit reading for the month of March, where we take a look at your plant spirit that will help you deepen your connection to the world around you, to your witchy path, to your plant spiritual goodness. And we are looking at the herbiary, the illustrated herbiary from Maya Toll. And your card for the month is Yarrow. Hello Yarrow, what a lovely card for you. Perfect protection. Interesting. And here's a look at the bigger version. You can get a much better sense of detail. All these boundaries, fences and gloves. My goodness, what is going on for you this month? Let's have a look at what Maya has to say, and then we're going to have a look at what I have to say about this particular plant spirit. So pocket of protection is Yarrow. It is used in quite a lot of protection spells. This is true. In older times, Yarrow travelled with warriors. While her official job, staunching wounds, which is, helping to stop the bleeding, keeping the insides in and the outsides out. I mean, that's another way of putting it, I guess. Her presence brought bravery to the soldiers she kissed. Today she has much the same task. Yarrow? Who's Yarrow? I've no idea. Sorry, kids. Yarrow assists you in keeping your boundaries, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. She creates personal pockets of protection so you can slow down, gather your strength, and find your courage. Yarrow reminds you that boundaries are not just for keeping the outside from coming in, but for keeping yourself from leaking out. Oh, there's been a lot of that for March. The Piscean month is too much emotional blending and bleeding if we're not careful, by the sounds of it. Yarrow can help create a bubble of protection, a bit of sacred space in which you can regroup, regenerate, and recreate yourself. Interesting. Oh, this reflection is going to get some of you guys that I know. Can you say no? Yarrow has enthusiastically adapted to modern times. She helps us establish personal space and boundaries. Remember though, she's a partner, not a guard dog. In order for Yarrow to do her job, you have to learn to say one word. No. These two letters can be tough to spit out. If you're concerned about being nice or cooperative, you may find you're saying yes or maybe when your heart is actually saying no. How does saying no sit with you? Are you able to say no to being overextended and protect the dreamy little bubble Yarrow offers you? The quote here is by Sharon Pace MacLeod from Celtic Myth and Religion. In one healing charm for gathering Yarrow, the healer says the plant is being gathered so their hand will become more brave, their foot more swift, and their speech like the beams of the sun. The ritual here is to re-establish personal space. In order to ask Yarrow to hold space for us, we need to know what space we're asking her to hold. Close your eyes and pretend you're inside a glass bubble. Some people would call this glass bubble your aura. You can think of it that way, or you can stick with glass bubble if that's more comfortable in your mind. Run your fingers along the inside of your bubble, feeling for the edges of your boundary. Willingly suspend your belief and trust your fingers. Is your bubble smooth and whole, or are there areas showing up that are in need of shoring up? If you feel gaps in your bubble, call on Yarrow to help you recreate boundaries of personal space. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one for you. According to Maud Grieve in A Modern Herbal, Yarrow's name is actually a corruption of the Anglo-Saxon name for the plant Guer, or the Dutch Ur. To the ancients, Yarrow was known as Herba militaris, the military herb, and we've kind of covered that. Achilles learned about the properties of Yarrow while under the tutelage of his mentor Chiron, and Chiron, who is referred to as the wounded healer. Thus, Yarrow has earned a relationship with his archetype and is a valuable ally for those experiencing the wounding of the soul. So that's interesting because there is an element here of feeling, cut to the bone, wounded, like you're bleeding out. So has the energy for you in recent times been that you feel that you are constantly very emotionally and maybe physically and maybe spiritually bleeding out. And it's been a stream of giving yourself away and things of that nature. And have you felt very put on? Have you felt like taken advantage of? Have you felt like you haven't had time to be yourself? Have you felt like you haven't had time to do the things you want to do? And if so, we need to look at these things and where they're coming from. We need to look at why that is really happening. And I feel like the answer isn't easy because it is such a wounded space. It may be coming from dear loved ones, your other half. It may be coming from family obligations or family members who are not honouring and supporting you and respecting your boundaries or even your healing process. So Yarrow as an energy is really coming in to address that, to really, Daisy's having a mad half hour, sorry guys, have a look at the different places in which you feel taken advantage of in some way. I really enjoyed this to do with Yarrow. So in her book, Mary Sisip Genuses shares a variety of Anishinaabe spiritual and medical connections with Yarrow, stating that the sacred herb is used by those who practice the Vanuin religion, and Yarrow would be made into a tea used as a bath to protect the skin of those involved with their fire ceremonies and preventing the fire from burning them. It is also used to scare off evil, hung or tied with sweetgrass and cedar on doors and windows. It is used to scare off the bad. The sweetgrass is used in conjunction to attract the good, and the cedar to balance the two. It is said that evil will not cross a line of Yarrow, and these protective and spiritual connections are pretty universal. There is a spell where Yarrow is used to stop gossip as well, and I think that kind of fits quite nicely with that kind of, your boundary, your space, keeping yourself on the inside. There may actually be an element this month for you guys of not telling everybody your secrets, not giving away too much about how you feel about a given situation until you are ready internally to give the answer to someone or give the information to someone that is true to you. So if there's don't give yourself away too early. Don't talk about a situation too early when you're not ready to, because you want to people please, and that's going to take away from your path this month. So just be on the safe side this month. Protect yourself, and really give yourself a little bit more time, and protect your inner self. Staunch that bleeding wherever it's going. Have a real good look at where you're giving yourself away too much. It's easy to do, especially in that Piscean energy. Alright, my darlings, many blessings, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Remember that if you would like a personal reading, you can get them through Patreon on the appropriate tier, or if you would like a weekly reading, you can be on pretty much any tier, and you can participate in that week to week to help you with your energies. Don't forget to check out your moon and rising for extra additional information, and many blessings.